write your questions, as there'll be a session that will focus on responding to all of your questions when that time comes. So let's please, with a very warm round of applause, welcome the Director of Civil Service Pension Department, Mr. Suleiman Sheleng, who will be taking us through a recap of day one of this program.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam E.S. With your permission, can I piggyback on the protocols established by our able MC? Please, can we put our hands together for the MC, please? Thank you very much. From your faces, it looks like we don't need to recap anything. It looks like everybody remembers everything. Abi, Auntie, do you remember everything from yesterday, ma? Yes? Okay. Thank you very much. The Executive Secretary and my colleagues have already laid out clearly where the journey for Ptad started from, and then where we are at the moment, but most importantly, where we want to be in the future, right? And because you are all living witnesses, this transformation, right? Each and every one of you here lived through the times that the ES spoke about, the narrative, the past narrative that Mrs. Obiamalu spoke about, yeah? And then the circumstances under which we are all living here today, right? But most importantly, what is the next level? What is the next level that we want to take our pensioners to? All right? The Executive Secretary mentioned the giant strides, the milestones that were made, especially in the liquidation of arrears. Yes? The 33% arrears was increased before Ptad started operations. So from day one, it's been 33%, 33%, 33%. So it took some time. But at the end of the day, by November 2019, was it? The 33% arrears was liquidated. Yes, it took 9 years. But then, because of the challenges, you know, initially, the increment was announced in July 2007. Payment started in January 2010, right? So between the day it was announced and the day payment started, on a monthly basis, that is, we had accumulated arrears of almost 3 years, right? 30 months in most cases. Then we started paying on a monthly basis from inherited payroll, and then we started paying the arrears. By 2019, we finished. So between when the increment was made and when we finally liquidated, it took 9 years. But that narrative has changed compared to the consequential adjustment, right? The very month that consequential adjustment was approved by the president, Ptad started paying the same month. That was because the ES had proactively said to us that, make provision. We made provision. And then she also started pushing for the approval to be obtained. Immediately it was obtained, she insisted that we should start paying the same month. And because everybody was on their toes, we were able to do that. Not only did we start implementing the monthly increment, we also started paying the arrears. By, I think it was May, when we started paying the arrears of 2021, by the end of the year, the arrears for 3 departments was completely liquidated. The civil service, 3 months was carried over to the first quarter of 2022, and then it was eventually settled. So as we speak now, consequential adjustment has already been paid. I beg, let me put hands together. Okay, so in that instance, we're comparing 9 years for 33% and less than 9 months for consequential adjustment. That's a massive, massive improvement. By the time Ptad was established, unfunded liability was unimaginable, right? As we speak now, apart from a few of the defunct and privatized agencies, Ptad has completely liquidated the arrears of all pensioners. I mean, that is not to say that there wouldn't be, in fact, till this moment, pensioners who had previously failed to enroll into the scheme because they thought it was not working are coming back to enroll. Even though we have a very rigorous screening process, we have to establish that you are indeed genuine. And then once we put you on the payroll, your arrears will be computed and it will be paid to you as well. Okay? So overall, arrears across all departments have been settled. But you have 1 or 2 pensioners coming into the stage, that are being computed and are being paid on a regular basis. In fact, with this month's pension, there will be some pensioners that will still be collecting arrears. Okay, so the narrative has also changed in that area. Verification. It used to be an exercise in hell. People queue up in rains under the sun, yeah? But that is something of the past now. As a matter of fact, our verification facilities were as good as this one, perhaps even better in some instances, right? Pensioners were again dignified, right? They were treated with respect. Because we believe that, and the ES says that a lot, that just as it is in our national pledge, the labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. And you are those heroes that are referenced in the national pledge and in ES's speeches. So a round of applause for the pensioners, please. You saw pictures. You know they say pictures don't lie. You saw pictures of the quality of the files that we inherited. In some instances, before you can get the file of Mr. Adelakun, you might need to hire laborers to go through all that heap that Madam Obia Balu showed yesterday. Laborers, and I'm serious. And it used to take days and weeks to find files. In some instances, you cannot even find any file. But you saw from yesterday, we've reconstructed your data. We have a comprehensive database. And most significantly, file retrieval takes about 5 minutes because everything has been digitized and then a proper archiving system put in place. That's also another transformation, isn't it? But the most important transformation is forums like this. We call you, we tell you what we have done, we take your feedback, and then go back home and try to improve on our services. Because for us as an organization, what was best yesterday might not be even good enough today. So we are constantly evolving, and that is the essence of feedback. Okay? So whatever your recommendations are, please, there are some that we might be able to take on board immediately, others might take time. So it's all about patience. And if what we have done over the years is a testimony of where we are headed to, then you have to have confidence in us that we are committed to making welfare of pensioners front and center. Okay? And that brings me to the next steps. The next steps. Of course, starting with the I Am Alive confirmation solution. That is very, very, very critical, because even the comprehensive data that we have reconstructed, okay, from the verification exercise, what is reliable today might not be reliable tomorrow, because data keeps changing. You're enrolling new people who were not there before. Some other people are being dropped because maybe they have left us, or maybe we've discovered that some of the people were actually not eligible. And then others were probably enrolled wrongly, or maybe they were overplaced or underplaced. So you have to constantly keep updating your data. And your database is as good as, it's a snapshot. So the way you are seated today, I'm sure if we take a photo of you and then we come back, the way you were seated yesterday, and some of you took photographs here, I'm sure it's not the same position that you are seated today, right? So it's like a video recording. You have to continuously, update the data. And the I'm Alive confirmation solution is a very critical means of updating that data. That's critical for the overall sustainability of the defined benefit pension scheme. We know pension is for life. So if anybody is deceased, we need to know that they are deceased, not only because we want to remove them from the payroll, but we want to be able to honor them. We want to be able to commiserate with their families. We want to be able to commiserate with the unions, with you, your colleagues, their colleagues. Okay? So it's a way of paying our last respect to the pensioners. Unions were reporting some of these departures, but in fairness to them, it might not be comprehensive because there will be some departures that they might not even know. But this confirmation solution solves two problems. First of all, it removes the burden of you pensioners from traveling from Ijero Ekiti. From Ijero Ekiti to Owo for verification, right? So these verification centers are now not only in your houses, but inside your bedrooms. Because you can just, anytime you bring out your phone, wherever you are, whether you are in Riverside in Ogun State, or Elisha in Osun State, that is a verification center. And whatever time it is, whether it's, what's morning again? Is it Arrow? Or it's at night, the verification center is opened because it's a 24-hour verification center. So at whatever time, or wherever you are in the world, pick up your phone, you'll be able to do the I'm Alive confirmation, and it solves your verification problem. We've started with the police pension. It was clearly stated. It started on the 14th of April, and it's going to last for 6 months. But then again, we enjoin all our police pensioners to please take the early bird opportunity of confirming their aliveness. Because by the 1st of June, we are bringing in more people to come and join you. CPIT will come and join you as well. Nothing will happen to the system Nothing will happen to a 6-month grace period. But if I were you, I would rather do my confirmation and leave the room before the next batch of people come in. And so far, it was mentioned yesterday, we had gone beyond 50% of the police pensioners. Do we have any police pensioners here who have not done the confirmation? Who have done? Do we have any that have done? Yeah? Well done. Do we have any who have not done? Any? So a big round of applause to police pensioners. But I want to also use this opportunity to call on the union members to please further disseminate this information. We are doing what we can at our level. We are using the national press. We are using the local radio stations. We beginning to run jingles. We will try as much as possible, but nothing travels farther and faster than word of mouth. You can imagine that if there was rumor in Shagamu, before you wake up in AKURE, you hear the rumor. That is because one person tells the other person. So we want you to use the same wave to propagate information about this very noble idea. Okay? So no traveling. You don't need to travel from one place to another for verification. There is no time limit. It's not 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. Anytime you wake up, anytime you have internet, anytime. And it doesn't have to be your phone. It could be somebody else's phone. It could be your neighbor's phone. The fact that you use somebody's phone to do the confirmation, it doesn't mean that he will see your details, he will steal your identity. No. Rora. So your information is your information. You put in these details, and then your facial features will come up. It's like the telephone, right? Some of us have facial recognition on the phone. If I give Mrs. Obiamalu or Mr. Kabiru this phone, they are both prettier than me, but their facial features will not open this phone. It will have to come back to this ugly face. That is how the confirmation works. Yeah? So do not be afraid. Well, I would rather do the confirmation with the facility of someone I trust. But it doesn't matter if, you do it with anybody's phone. So even for the government, it reduces costs. Because we used to transport, accommodate, and take care of tens of staff, both permanent and ad hoc staff, to travel across the 36 states of the Federation to confirm this aliveness. And in so many states, we had multiple centers. Too much cost for the government as well. You know where that money will go to if it's not spent? It is saved for the government. Then it's easier to make the point to the government that pensioners deserve to be paid more, right? So we will save. On the part of the pensioners, apart from not traveling to the verification center, the inconvenience of traveling, but you also save transportation money. Some people who need care to be able to travel, they don't need to travel. But the mobile verification for pensioners with proven cases of illnesses and infirmity will still be open. But as always, it's going to be based on the merit of each particular case. There might be people who wouldn't be able to travel or even leave their houses. But with the phone, they will be able to do the verification in those houses. Okay? So this is really very critical. The executive secretary is a medical doctor, so her priority has been health insurance. That is also another plan for the future. In other countries, people qualify for enrollment into health insurance schemes when they are retiring. Okay? But here, once you retire, you lose your health insurance benefit, which doesn't make sense. You are more vulnerable when you are older to some of those, especially lifestyle sicknesses. So, they want to bring everybody back into the health insurance scheme. The last pension increment was before the consequential adjustment was in 2010. It took 10 years for the next increment to be implemented, right? Now, almost 10 years, I think 9 years. So what the ES mentioned yesterday, we've already written to Salaries, Wages, and Income Commission, and then it was mentioned yesterday that your next increment is due in 2024. Or if the government increases salary before then, at that time, just like the Constitution says. But just so that we don't rest on our laurels, we've already written to the Salaries, Incomes, and Wages Commission, and we've started collaborating with them towards making sure that we don't need to wait for any salary increment, but put the machinery in motion for the next increment that automatically is triggered in 2024. That will make it 5 years after the last increment. And that is what the Constitution says. And we are determined to make sure that pensioners enjoy this constitutional provision when it is due. Okay? And then the ES also mentioned the harmonization. Yes? Because right now, people who retired early, when salaries were really poor, are at a disadvantage compared to people who retired later than them on the same grade level and having served the same number of years. So with the harmonization, which the subcommittee, Ptad, graciously chaired, we've written the report. I don't know if there was a membership from the pension unions. I don't know if any of the members is here. And then we did a very thorough job, and we've sent the recommendation to the National Salaries, Incomes, and Wages Commission. And then we worked subsequently with them towards adjusting the data here and there. And now they are working towards getting the approval for that. Once that is approved, we are ever ready to begin implementation. So that there is no more discrimination between pensioners. Okay, the other thing that my colleague spoke about yesterday was the computation. We keep receiving complaints from pensioners that my pension has been reduced, or I am being short paid or underpaid. That is because some people are actually misleading our pensioners as to how much they're entitled to. And my colleague mentioned the allowances that are eligible for pension. They are pensionable. Do we remember all those allowances? Okay. Oh yeah, let's go. Yes, madam. Say what? No, the allowances that are pensionable. Starting with basic salary. Yes, sir. Rent subsidy, rent allowance, yes. Transport and meal, yes. Which other one? Yeah, housing, yes. Domestic servant, for those who are eligible. So if by the nature of your work, you are earning other allowances, please do not include that in your pension computation. Because those ones, as at yet, they are not pensionable. Okay? And under no circumstances will your pension be greater than your last salary. Because someone who is earning 36,000 naira a month as salary will come and tell you that his pension should be 60,000 naira. Yeah? That cannot work, because even if you put in the maximum number of years, which is 35 years, your pension can be 80% of the pensionable emolument, which does not include those allowances outside the ones that you have listed. That is very important. So before you think that you're either short-paid or underpaid, please just imagine how much you are earning before you retire. And then how much of that income was housing, was rent, was transportation, was meals? How much of it was that? Yeah? If you spend 35%, it will be 80% of that. If you spend 30%, it will be 70% of that. So all you need to do is just multiply the number of years that you spend in service by 2, and then add 10. Then that will be the percentage of your total pensionable emolument. Is that clear? So it's important to know how you compute your pension. And then he also laid out the eligibility criteria. You have to spend up to 10 years, not 1 minute less. Well, minute, I'm exaggerating, not 1 day less, right? If you spend, like he said, 9 years, 11 months, 29 days, you are 1 day short of eligibility. And before you cross the eligibility threshold, there is no rounding up. So you have to meet that threshold before you can qualify. But once you have cleared that threshold, if you spend just 7 months, let's say 10 years and 7 months, when computing your pension, we'll round it up to 11 years. Once you cross that threshold, we can now round it up. But we can round up 9.5 years to eligibility threshold. Okay? That's very clear, right? Okay. So generally, these are just the big points that I want to bring out, and I know that you all have questions as well. Please, if by this recap I have answered your question, there is no need for you to ask that question. Okay? So that we can all close early. And my people that are going back to Ijero, or Kitipupa. They should be able to live under sunlight and get home before evening. So, like all of EAs and all of my colleagues have said, and the solidarity messages we got from our regulators and other external stakeholders, right? We're very happy to be here with you today, but we will eternally be happy to be of service to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shelleng. That was a very extensive recap. Let's give him another round of applause. I think he did justice to every presentation that was made yesterday. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. While the recap was going on, we had a couple of distractions. I'd like to crave your indulgence again to please request that you put your phones on silence or vibration mode, please. Let's enjoy this program without any distractions, please. If it's very urgent, please put it on vibration mode. But if not, if you can hold on for like 3 hours, let's keep your attention for that long. Thank you very much. Also, for questions, I keep talking about questions because we've had so many presentations, and even this recap will elicit some more questions. So my colleagues are in the aisle. They will collect your questions so that we can collate them and give it to the director who will be handling the session later on that will be focused on those questions. Thank you very much. Also, we found a bunch of keys at the breakfast section. So if you've misplaced, it looks like house keys, not car keys. Please check your pockets or your bags to confirm that you have your house keys with you. But if you're missing your house keys, please, you can speak to me when I get off the platform. Our next presentation is a very apt presentation because we've come to realize that the pensioners are a soft target for a group of people who want to take advantage of you. The executive secretary, during her welcome remarks, mentioned it. Beware of fraudsters. Ptad will never ask you for a dime to process your payment. However, there are still some aspects that we need for you to understand. Let's welcome the next presenter, Mr. Jibrin Idris, who is the head, monitoring and compliance, as he makes his presentation, expose on computation fraud.
This way? I don't. Yeah, that's the front. Thank you. Yes, ma. My distinguished elders, good morning. Please permit me to stand on the already established protocol. AKURE. I hope I'm doing it rightly. Okay. I'll be talking to you about things that you may not be aware of, but that used to happen before in the old pension dispensation. The reason is for you to know that those things were happening then, not that they're happening now, because Ptad has put things in place, but for you to know and appreciate some of the reasons why the directorate was created in 2013 by virtue of the pension reforms. This pointer, okay. This is the outline. We'll look at what fraud is, what we're talking about it, the parameters that are used to manipulate pension computation, the consequences. We'll look at what Ptad has done. I'll also share with you those things you need to know to shield yourself from fraudsters. That's 419ers, those Yahoo boys. Those guys who do jigbiti, only jigbitis. So I will share with you those things you need to do and or know to avoid their antics. You know, yesterday, my director, Mr. Kabir Yusuf, mentioned the types of pensions or the types of computations we do in the directorate. He mentioned monthly pension, the gratuity. If it happens that a pensioner is unable to claim either a pension somehow, somewhere, or the gratuity, then pension arrears will also come. So we also compute arrears. Then there are some sets of workers, by virtue of the contracts of their employment and the companies they worked, they are not entitled to pension. They are entitled to one-off payment. So we also compute this. Example of those establishments are Alscon, Savannah Sugar, etc. Then if a pensioner, while he was alive, is was unable to claim his entitlements, the next of kin will come forward and make this claim. Then the NOK computation entitlement also comes in. Now, in those days, computation of your pensions was done manually. The pension officer or whatever is entitled sits down and compute. He determines all those variables that are used in computing your pension. Your date of employment and your date of exit determines your service period, which is critical. Every other thing being equal, the longer the service period, the higher the pension will be, and vice versa. If it happens that the pension officer who is computing your pension, perhaps he doesn't like your face or what, for whatever reason, or maybe you gave him query and while you are working, he could decide to shrink this period, and that would have a negative impact on your pension. This was being done, we have seen it. On the other hand, if he wants to favor you, maybe you were very nice to him and he feels your pension was small, he could just expand this period and then your pension will go up. These are some of the reasons why you have colleagues then who you worked same service period, same grade, same level, retired the same date, you know, everything the same. But you now discover your colleague is earning higher than you. These are some of these reasons that give rise to that because of these manipulations. Then the applicable salary chart. The salary you were on when you exit is the salary chart that will be used in computing your pension. A pension officer may decide to use a different salary structure which could have an impact either negatively or positively on your pension. Then your grade level and steps at retirement could also be manipulated and also result in the same conclusion. Then your pensionable allowances. I'm sure my other directors have mentioned the pensionable allowances that are used to determine your total pensionable emolument, TPE. In most of the officers, it's 5 items, but it could be 6 depending on the grade you exit. We've seen cases where the elements that are used are not up to what should be used. And in some cases, they even go beyond. They add other things in determining the TPE to boost it and then giving rise to wrong monthly pension. All these things were happening in the old dispensation. Then you know, by virtue of our constitution as amended, section 173, subsection 3, Mr. Shellings talked about it. Your pensions are reviewed every 5 years, or whenever there is salary review for public servants, whichever is earlier. So those increases are there. You are only entitled to increases that happen after you have exited. We've seen cases where it's not all those increases that are applied to a person, or in some cases, even those that you are not entitled to are brought in to just give a wrong picture of monthly pension. All these manipulations were happening by those misguided pension officers. I've spoken about pensioners who, not pensioners, ex-workers. They are not pensioners because their contractual agreement is that they will be paid one off when they exit, like Alscon, NACO, Savannah Sugar. The terms are clearly defined in their contracts. However, when the officers come to compute this, they do a different thing. They start bringing things that are not supposed to be part of those computations. And in fact, some of them even want to now claim pension. All these anomalies were happening in the past. There's a category of pensioners, state with federal share. There are those people who maybe worked in the state before moving to the federal, or those first category, you worked in the regional office or states before 1976, or you worked in the federal and exited in the state, so you have a federal share. The state produces a computation sheet for you, and in that computation sheet, there is a section for federal portion. That portion shows what the federal government will pay you. We've seen cases where, if I outrightly forged computation sheets are produced, forged. They are utterly forged. The beauty about this forged document, this particular one, is if you take the extra step to authenticate it, they will just fail because the state will tell you they are fake. However, there's this other worrying one. The document is genuine, but the federal share portion has been worked. They've manipulated it, in most cases, to increase the federal share. So you have to be diligent to discover, because sometimes the sums they don't add up and you easily see them. The danger with this one is, if you send a copy to the state for authentication, if the officer there is lazy, he will just go to the file. When he sees a replica, he will say, okay. But if the arithmetic is redone, then the fraud will be seen. So all these kinds of anomalies happened in the past. Then we also seen when next of kin come to claim entitlements, a lot of anomalies also are seen there. You know, a next of kin is expected to produce a letter of administration from the courts. We've seen forged letter of administration that's supposed to produce the death certificate of the deceased. Sometimes the date of death is altered. They bring it forward or backwards to increase the claim, or, you know, maybe a pensioner died 2 years ago, they will say he died this year. So to make extra room for 1 year additional claim. Then the bank statement that they submitted is also sometimes manipulated. We have seen outrightly forged bank statements, or a genuine bank statement with figures that are altered. Now, because of all this, in 2004, government felt there's a need to reform the pension industry, and that was what brought about the creation of Ptad. Okay, so let me take consequences of all those bad practices before I talk about what Ptad has done to check all this. When you are not paid your right and correct pension, you get worried. You begin to complain. And because of your age, it begins to affect your health negatively. Why is my colleague who was my junior earning more than me? All these things we are telling on our pensioners, and they keep complaining and complaining. And this gave rise to multiple complaints that were not resolved. Then the pensioners are not happy, they are dissatisfied. In fact, it even affects their loyalty or commitment to the nation. They begin to see the country as not liking them. I'm sure that scenario is beginning to change gradually. Then pension liability, it keeps increasing because the officers who handle pension were not honest. They keep quicking figures, and the liability keeps rising. Government is making payments, but liability, instead of coming down, liability is increasing. And now, what has Ptad done to check all these anomalies? My directors have spoken about verification. That was the first thing we did, to have a database of pensioners, to have all your pension details. With that, once verification is done correctly, your employment details are captured. Computation in Ptad is done electronically. It is not manual. The computation solution feeds directly from the database and produces your pension. That way, there is no way any officer could manipulate your pension. What comes out when he pushes the button to calculate your pension gratuity is what you are entitled to. And then the zero tolerance to Ptad, to corruption and bribery. The executive secretary has set the tone and had made it clear, and she does not tolerate any sort of corruption, any sort of bribery. I want to implore all our pensioners here, if you have any incidents of any pensioner giving bribe or offering money or the other way, our staff have asked you for monies to help you to do their work in paying their pension, please feel very free to escalate to us. You could do it to me or to the ES or directly, or if you want to write, please we encourage you to write, because there is no tolerance for this sort of behavior. Thank you very much. Now, I mentioned the Onijibits, Yahoo boys. These guys, they want to steal where they did not sow. They want to steal your pension. They will call you. They will send you texts. They will, if you have email, they will send you email and pretend to be Ptad or pretend to be your bank just to steal your money. Number one formula, whoever will ask you for money for your pension or for a next of kin payment, once you hear bring money, know that it is fraud. Ptad will never ever ask you to bring money for your entitlement. Or they will tell you your pension is small, they want to increase it. It's not possible in Ptad because computation is automated. So you must know this. Once you hear bring money, it's not Ptad, run away and block that number or call, label that number Ole. It's Barao, thief. We have state offices around you. In the southwest, we have in Ibadan, we have in Lagos. Please feel free to walk to our state offices, meet our officers when you have any complaint. Any issues you have with your pension, walk to them or write. Don't go through pension contractors or pension agents. Even lawyers, pardon me, don't go through any lawyer. That Ptad is your friend, accessible. So any issue you have, come to us and we will resolve it. Some of us do electronic banking. I know in the Southwest we are very learned. Some of you have banks apps that you do transfers. You have, the commonest one is ATM card. That card is single user. Don't be giving your card to your friends or to your family members and you give them your PIN. That 4 digits is supposed to be known by only you. Please don't share it with anybody. Then your card details, that long number on the card, there's another shorter one behind. That's expiry date. All those details, keep them with you. Do not share it with anyone. If you have a password that you use in accessing any application on your phone, don't share it. Let me tell you something. Your password and your PIN, use it like your toothbrush. You know when we go to the supermarket, when you want to pick a toothbrush, what do? You look for a good one, right? And you don't share it with anyone. And after some time, you change it. Maybe every 3 months or 1 month, doctors will advise, I don't know. But we change our toothbrush regularly. So use your password and PIN like your toothbrush. Get a good one. Don't share it with anybody, like you don't share your toothbrush, right? And be changing it regularly. What I do, this is a secret, but I will share with you. For you to form your password or your PIN, for example, you want to use a date of birth as your PIN. You know your date of birth. Maybe your wife's date of birth. Maybe you were born 1940. Your wife was born 1945. So use 40 and use 45 of your wife. You now combine that. Nobody can guess that. Right? And if you are using a password, don't use English, run away from English words. Because those Yahoo boys, it's English words they use in doing their work. Go native, go local. Go and look for one word in your village that only you know. Look for one nickname. I'll go and change all my own because after this time, some people will start, you cannot guess the word I use from my village. So don't use English words. Use locals. And you can use you can do a combo. Do a combo. Maybe one village nearest your village at the next. Take half. Put it, So make your password complicated. That way, those Yahoo boys will never ever guess, and you will be safe from them. However, if they happen to break through and you feel they are doing something, they are attempting to attack your account, please, as soon as you get that, change your password or your PIN. Once you feel something is wrong, maybe somebody is trying to hack into your account, just immediately change that's why I say use it like a toothbrush. Continue to change it, Then there was a report by Augusto and Co. that our elders are major target of these Yahoo boys. And the target is your phones. They target your phones. It was shown that most elderly people, when they lose their phone, they just abandon that phone and number. They just go and get another phone, another SIM. They just say that one don't lost. That's the end of it. Even when you lose your phone, and it is the phone that you use to receive alerts or order, you have your other banking details. Please do not abandon it. Go to your bank and change. Make sure let them delink that account from. That phone number from your account is very important. And do not save your banking details, your password, etc., your card details, your NIN, your BVN numbers. Don't save it on your phone. If you want to change your phone for whatever reason, get somebody who is IT savvy to format, that is, clean the phone. Let the phone be 0. Don't change phone and just remove SIM and throw it away or dash it to somebody. Anytime you are doing that, always ensure you change your phone. Then your career documents, they are very important. People can steal your identity or clone you if you don't keep your documents very well. So my elders, keep those documents very well. The way you keep your cash, that's the way you will hide your career, your letter of employment, and all those. Hide them very well. Don't give anybody for whatever reason. Whoever will call you and ask you for your personal information, please do not share. Then, all we have said, please, Southwest, our elders in the Southwest zone, go and share it with your colleagues who are not here, your friends. Everything my guys have said before now, and those things that will be said after I've stepped down, please share it with your colleagues. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jibrin. Let's give him another round of applause, please. That expose has shown us the different ways that these very unscrupulous people can penetrate us. And so we need to guard against this in every way that we can. Always protect all your details, both your card details and your career details. These are very important documents for you or to you. And at no time, except you get specific calls from Ptad requesting for such information, should you share with any other third party. Thank you so much, Mr. Jibrin, for those reminders. Our next presentation is also a reminder on how to continue to enjoy yourself at retirement. Most of you already have that down to a T, but it'll be a good idea to hear further ideas on how you can continue to enjoy life after retirement. To make this presentation, we have a former Federal Permanent Secretary in our midst, Barrister Sonny Oswago, OON, who will be making this presentation to us. Please, let's welcome him with a round of applause.
Thank you. The Executive Secretary, I'll stand on already established protocol. Great pensioners. Great pensioners. Let's give 5 boosts. To the Executive Secretary, Bosa. To management of Ptad, Bosa. I think they have done very well. They have done very well in this country. And this administration, pension has given this administration so much good name. The DBS pension is something that people salute the president, General Muhammadu Buhari. There's no president that has done better than him in funding pension. I'm also a beneficiary, so I know what I'm talking about. And yesterday, it dawned on me when they said that Ptad will be 10 years old. I said, how time flies. Ptad has given good name to this government. And in these past 10 years, Ptad, if you recall, have been administered and headed by women. The first executive secretary was a woman. Second one was a woman. The present one is a woman. And you will agree with me that they did very well. The first one led the foundation. Second woman stood on the foundation and took it to another level. The present woman is taking it to another level. I think we have to commend and thank them. Why don't we, after this president, give Nigeria to a woman? I think Nigeria would be better. Let us try a woman as a president. That's my advocation. And you will see how things will go. You see how things will go. So, what we are going to discuss is about you, about the things sometimes you do, you take them for granted, you don't even know when you do them or why you do them. It's about life after you have retired. Yesterday I was looking at most of you. Many of you don't look like retired people. They don't look like retired people. And the reason is that a pensioner, no matter how the quantum of his pension, the pensioner needs his pension as at when due. Even if it is 10,000, he wants it. If it's 28, he gets it or she gets it 28. I think Ptad is doing that. They're doing that. I'm a pensioner too. In the last 6 months, I've received my pension every 28, though not from Ptad. Ptad is even doing better. And that's why all of you are looking like this. And please, when it is time to commend them, you commend them. When they do well, commend them. Pensioners, you have a weakness. After settling their benefit, by the time they get to the gate, they forget the thing and they start to abuse everybody. Pensioners are fond of that. Please commend them and be praying for them to do well in their career, because if they are happy, you will also be happy. So, it is important for you as a retiree to determine the type of life you are going to live. First, by where you are going to live, your accommodation. Retirement period is not a period to pay rent. To pay rent. You can't even pay rent in Abuja with your benefits. So as much as possible, it is never too late to get your own accommodation, no matter how small. Let it be your own house, so that you'll be the landlord. If you are going to stay in the village, don't go to the family house, because they will be fighting you. After spending time in the town, you have come to join us here, I think you are back. That's what they will say. And they begin to fight and quarrel. As much as possible, if it's in the village, get your own small house. For you, a pensioner, you have to be financially strong. Even with your benefits, you should plan and live within your income. Live within your pension entitlement. Don't live above what you're expecting. Do some plan. Acquire things that are necessary. Don't go and buy things that are unnecessary. And never you allow your liabilities to exceed what you earn. Keep track of all your expenses. As retirement is not the time to be spending money anyhow. You enter shop without planning. You say, I like this, you take, especially women. You see this, you say, I like this, you take. This is not the time to do that. You must plan your finances. Do your budget. Those that will go for food, fuel, clothes, utilities. Even recharge card. Make less calls. Women, you're always calling. Those calls, money is going as you make those calls. Mama Fumi, you see that style for church? Women go to church to watch style instead of worshiping God. That's what my wife tells me. So, spend, then reduce your indebtedness. Retirement is not the time to owe, to be owing, to be borrowing. Don't borrow when you are not sure that you pay back. Don't hear about consequential adjustment that is coming. You have not seen it. Ptad has not started computing. You started borrowing on it. Yes, I hope you are aware that quietly the civil service has done some adjustment of salary, 40%. Please remember pensioners, begin to talk to salaries and wages to give them adjustment. Don't go and spend that year is going to see salaries and wages. You have not seen the circular, you have not seen the money, you start to borrow. Borrow according to what you have. Then you know that the little pension that you get, you know, the happiest time in a month for a pensioner is when you get the alert. Is it not so? And alert reduces your blood pressure when you get it. So when you get it, please think of keeping it well. And the inflation rate, the rate things are going, the quantum of pension you're receiving is buying less and less things. So you need to plan to see what and what you can do to augment the little pension. You plan around it, but always aim at something you do. And there are so many things you can do as a retiree. Many retired people have been involved in small scale and medium scale, like bottled water. They have succeeded. Some plan very well while in service. There are examples of public servants who retired, who have good petrol stations, good businesses, and it is never late to do those things. Try to talk to experts in those fields. You can become a trainer. You can sell books and stationeries. You can get involved in catering services as your capacity can allow you. Rental services is what you can do even within your premises. This is logistic business, interior decorations, child minding centers, especially women. You know, professional women these days, they come and drop their child for you, and you make little money. Ice block production, cyber cafe and business centers, laundry business, car wash and polishing business, fish farms, poultry. These are things you can do in your backyard. Flower gardens, you sell flowers. It's giving people big money in Abuja, especially big cities. Then those who were in service, who got involved in real estate, 1 or 2 houses will be fetching you money. That's why you need to talk to estate developers. The next important thing in the life of a pensioner is to be healthy. Don't take the issues of health for granted. The more healthy you are, you will have increased quality of life and you will live longer. So it is important for you, don't take it for granted. Go for medical checkup. Medical checkups are very important. Please. Don't say nothing is happening to me. I've not been to hospital before, and you continue moving around. The more you go for a medical checkup, you'll find out whether they will tell you whether you have hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, arthritis. These are all illnesses associated with old age. Check your ears, eyes, your ear. The mouth hygiene. Go to dentist, check your teeth regularly, wash it regularly. Men should go for tests for prostate. Then the other thing associated with old age is stress. Please don't do those things that will give you stress. Avoid quarrels with your neighbors. Avoid quarrels in your village. Avoid them. You have played your part. Try as much as possible to remove those things that will bring you stress. Money issues, home, minor frustrations. If you are living in Abuja or Lagos, traffic jam. Try to avoid traffic hold-up. It's not good for you. Or time yourself when you will not meet them. Power outage. You want to do something, they take light. Anger, arguments. Then phone calls. They'll be calling you, phoning your phone is ringing every time. 90% of the calls are asking you for something you do for them. Nobody will ask for what they can do for you. So reduce the phone calls because there are sources of stress also. Try as much as possible to be close to friends and relations at this our age. Learn to relax and avoid being bombarded by requests from people. They're asking you for money every time. Try to help as much as possible, but know when to stop. Don't give and give out everything that you have. The more you give, the more they will come. The day you don't give, they'll start to castigate you. The next important thing about retirement life is that you should get involved in physical exercises. You should exercise your body every day. You can do more jogging around your house or around the environment where it will be safe for you. Walking, strolling, gardening, tending to your gardening around your house. And those things, as recommended by health experts, but don't take too much risk. Don't go and start 100 meters. You are too old for that. Because these exercises will reduce the health issues, health challenges of diabetes, arthritis, which I mentioned earlier, and stress. Try as much as possible. Organize your children's education. That is the best thing we can give to them. If you do that, you have done your duty on earth. Don't leave them uneducated. Of course, by now you should have finished with children, I imagine. So, then try to continue to develop yourself. Don't say, I've retired, I'm old. You can no longer do anything. Develop yourself professionally. It's a continuous thing until one gives up. If possible, if you are a chartered accountant, try to have an office, a doctor or nurse. Try to have a professional office. It has been stated here, wherever there is a pension office, or wherever you find pensioners, you must find fraudsters. They'll be following you. Jibril has explained this so much, what you need to avoid them. Those messages they send, ignore them, because they think you are vulnerable. Always keep your brain mentally alert. Try to read something every day. Because aging starts from the brain. If you leave it, just as iron gets rusty, your brain will start getting rusty. Try to be reading newspapers, articles, religious books. Read them. Try to participate in politics. Know what the government is doing. Be aware. You should participate in community affairs and give the benefit of your experience to your community. Because pensioners are a critical mass that they can influence opinion and even begin to ask questions. Let government account for the money they are being given, those in government. Try to take part in your unions. Find out what your union leaders are doing. The union leaders, please try to let your members know what you are doing. Let unionism not stop with the union leaders. Try to pass, as they are talking about this and my life, you pass it on to them. That's why you are the union leaders. Let them know what you are doing. Ensure that, of course, I've said that I'm participating in all the elections. Elections have come and gone. As a pensioner, you are getting old. Try to eat less and less. Don't eat anything that you see. Try as much as possible to eat quality food. And please avoid excessive alcohol. It's not about religion. Avoid excessive alcohol. We are getting old. It's about your health. And don't eat very late in the night. After 7 p.m., don't eat. Try to eat every food before 7 p.m. because the body is no longer able to do what it used to do. Avoid being lonely. Avoid being lonely. Try to communicate with friends and relations. If possible, join some responsible clubs like golf. You can play golf, chess. Then whatever you are something. Remember that you are leaving people behind when we leave. Try as much as possible to put your house in order. Don't keep one woman at Apapa, another one at Ajegunle. The other one won't know. Try to organize your family. If there's need to write will, you write will. Writing will does not mean that you are going to die. Try to make sure that by the time you leave this earth, there will be no fight in your house. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, be closer to God. You know, as we are getting older, we have all been given boarding pass. They are waiting for your flight to be announced. But that boarding flight, the flight will continue to be delayed until you are 90-100. So take responsibility. It is time to live honest and upright life. Don't be telling lies. Don't be carrying rumors, something you are not sure of. Try to be closer to God and develop your religion. Go to church or mosque. Pray as required by your religion. Get involved in voluntary work in your community. And more importantly, the young people are watching what we do. Try to behave responsibly so that we'll continue to bring up a healthy and responsible Nigerian citizens. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Barrister Oswago. Please, let's give him another round of applause. So, as I mentioned before he came up for his presentation, sorry about that, sir. Great save. You will agree with me that because he has led a very healthy lifestyle, he was able to save himself before he fell down those stairs. But thank you so much, sir, and we're glad nothing extra happened. Yes, sir. I was talking about Barrister Oswago, OON. He's a former federal permanent secretary. And some of you, if you remember, you must have seen circulars that had his name on it. And these circulars have continued to guide how pension operations happen in the sector. It's been a pleasure listening to you, sir. Let's talk about some of the pointers. It's never too late to keep track of all your expenses, whether you're retired or on your way to retirement or still serving. You need to reduce your indebtedness. Try not to borrow what you don't have. Become a trainer, because like most of you said, you are retired but not tired. So you still have a lot to share with us, to learn from you, and we'll continue to learn from you. Thank you so much for listening to the presentation. We'll listen to a couple of testimonials now before we go to the question and answer session. So if the IT department is ready, please can we have the testimonial video, please?
I will not be happy if I live. I will not be happy if I leave this platform without appreciating the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari is the best pension president we ever got in this country. He is just the best. Many people in Nigeria want him to go, but we in the pension industry, we don't want him to go because he listens to us. Because he listens to us. Every time we have a problem, and we talk about it through Ptad. We get it. We will never forget that he made us consequential adjustments. Of course, you will say to me, but the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides for this. Yes. But have others been doing it? No. I will not be happy if I leave this platform without appreciating the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari is the best pension president we ever got in this country. He is just the best. Many people in Nigeria want him to go, but we in the pension industry, we don't want him to go because he listens to us. Because he listens to us. Every time we have a problem, and we talk about it through Ptad. We get it. We will never forget that he made us consequential adjustments. Of course, you will say to me, but the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides for this. Yes. But have others been doing it? No. It was him that did it. So, Executive Secretary, tell the President that the pensioners of Nigeria, through their President and their union, appreciate him.
In all fairness, before God and man, let people say whatever they like about Buhari. I am not a politician, and I can never be one. However, President Muhammad Buhari's regime has been the best so far as it concerns the lot of pensioners. Over the years, you heard of pensioners dropping dead while queuing for their entitlements. As soon as the man has said, maybe because he's an old man, I wouldn't know. He appreciates the lot of the pensioner. He sympathizes with their lot. The information we got was that he gave a matching order to his subordinates who are in charge of pensions. Pay them as and when due. Don't joke with their pensions. And they have been paying. We know we have challenges in this country from what is reported to us. Twice, I remember, did a 3% pension increase. We carried the backlog into Muhammad Buhari's regime. But that has been paid long ago. There was an adjustment thereafter. The consequential adjustment in pension increase, in pension entitlements of pensioners have all been paid up. While other establishments did not have the new adjustment, pension under Ptad, which is superintended by Dr. Chioma Ejikeme, made sure that, I don't know how she did it, maybe she went to kneel down before Mr. President. You asked us to be doing this thing well, so please give us money so that we can pay. Of course, she paid. When my union members asked me, what is happening? What miracle is this? Well, give glory to God first and foremost, and begin to praise Mr. President for doing well. They know I don't praise people unless they actually do well. But we must confess so that we won't sin against God and against humanity.
I am from the Northwest, where the president of this country comes from, Baba Buhari. I'm proud to be associated with that man because he's doing very well to the pensioners.
I think it's important for me to give testimony here on the able job done by the PTAD and President Muhammad Buhari on the fate of us Nigerian police officers who served in Biafra during the Civil War, who were dismissed at the end of the war because of their services, and who, 30 years after their dismissal by presidential amnesty, were recalled and retired honorably through radio announcement. But we want to give testimony that on assumption of office of the present Executive Secretary, Dr. Chioma Ejikeme, she convened a special stakeholders conference only for retired war-affected officers in Enugu at the beginning of the year, and carefully looked into outstanding problems, and she has been able to place us on the level terms of people formerly retired. So many of us have got our gratuities in millions of naira. Others have been placed on monthly pension, and the arrears of pensions are being calculated.
We are so delighted in what they are doing. You will see the way we are hailing them by clapping for them. Otherwise, if they are not doing good, you know people in Nigeria, you will be hearing booming. They will be booming at them. But we have not ceased us. That's what they are doing good. And we just wish them they should continue. You know, our experience before Ptad took over in 2015, just like where I come from. You know, every organization by then has a board, and the money has to be channeled through that board. But the problem we are having is that a lot of the board will not disclose that the money has even come in. So they will let the pensioner fighting, struggle, where the money is getting some interest in the bank, just for a few of them to have something. And by the time the money is going to be paid, you discover some of the pensioners, they are on the best sick bed. So the little money they got, they use it to procure medicine, which is of no use for them.
In fact, without missing word, we have never, the pensioners, we've never had this so good. Like what you say. I'm not here, I'm not psychofancy. I am saying this between God and man. So you have done it well. Though not perfect yet, because there's no perfect man. But we know we are trying, there's still more room for improvement.
Regular, honestly. It's even better, far better than before. I'm enjoying it, particularly myself.
We thank Ptad for this program. As we can see, all pensioners are comfortable in this organization. As a matter of fact, since we come to Ptad from head of service, like our leader, the last speaker said, we have enjoyed everything from Ptad. And we pray that God will continue to give you strength to do more for pensioners. As our leader has said, Ptad, you are now our doctor. Pensioners need special care, which you are doing. And we are grateful for you, for your services. We thank the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria. I know our 33% was not paid until sometime this year. And we said we were going on the street. The Executive Secretary of Ptad said, no, let me see the President. And in that week, that payment was approved. We thank you so much. There are so many things Ptad has done. We thank the President, the steel rolling mill, the airways, all their arrears have been paid. We continue to partner with you as union, that you are working for benefit of pensioners. Thank you. Continue. My colleagues, if you agree with what I've said, let us give 3 gosa to Ptad. Gosa! 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 Thank you very much.
I want to ask a question. Let's be very honest with ourselves. Listening to these testimonials, was there any lie? Is it that everything has gone right? Can we do more? So if you agree, much more, okay, much more. Feedback is very important for service delivery. But if you agree that so far so good, let's give Ptad 3 bosas. Awesome. Thank you so much. A round of applause for yourselves. Thank you. So while the testimonials were being played, we had one of our guest speakers walking. Without further ado, because we're fast spent for time, I'd like to invite to the podium Dr. Lekon Adelakun. He'll be speaking to us on the determinants of health from middle age. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, okay, you have that. I've got my, okay. Good morning, Executive Secretary, management staff, and everybody in the house. It's my pleasure to get here. I was invited to come and talk to you because I'm a very shyful person. But I'm being trained to conquer my shyness so that I'll be able to face capacity crowd like this. My name is Lekon Adelakun. I'm sorry I came in a little late. I hadn't taken this road for a while by road from Lagos here. So many checkpoints, too many. Every 1.5 kilometers there's a checkpoint. And some of them cause so much traffic gridlock. I don't know why that happens. Anyway, we're here now, so we'll do justice to the topic at hand. The topic today is the determinants of health from middle age. Middle age officially starts from the age of 40. So by the time everybody is 50 years, or you are retiring, or you are retired, you are definitely falling into that category we're talking about. So we're going to talk about those things that determine our health that from middle age. You know what they say? They say, my people perish from lack of knowledge. They went on further to say, know ye the truth. And what? let the truth set thee free. But more often than not, even when we know the truth, it doesn't set us free. We'll look at that briefly. But as it were, my first warning to you is that you will not leave this world alive. You will not leave this world alive. So no matter what I say, no matter how careful you are still not going to leave the world alive. Okay. So we're not talking about death, because once the person is dead, the person is gone. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters to that person anymore. We are talking about life and the quality of life. We are talking about life and the quality of life. So what we're going to talk about today is what are those factors that are likely to influence how long and how well you live outside abnormal things. What are those factors that can help? So we'll look at it. Next slide, please. I think I have this. Let's see. Sorry? I should point you out there. Before I start, I must say it's nice to see Dr. Chioma, the Executive Secretary. The last time I saw her, she was a budding young lady almost 50 years ago. We saw last 1970, 75. The last time I saw her was 75. That was the last time I saw this lady. She has since blossomed. But then she had all the potentials then. So let's move forward. So like I said, my name is Lekon Adelakun. I practice medicine in Lagos, and I preach the gospel of health and safety. And that's why I've been brought here, health and safety. Okay. It's okay. Let me give you, So, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, technology. So we're going to, I'd like it to be interactive. I have about an hour for the whole thing. I will not bore you, but please, let us pay attention. This could be very, very useful. Now, does it blank? It doesn't blank. Okay, so we're going to have some definitions. One, what is health? What is health? Health is a state of complete well-being, medical, physical, mental, social, intellectual, sexual, psychological. Health is a complete state of well-being, not necessarily an absence of disease or infirmary. What is wealth? Only a lady can define wealth. So I want a lady to define wealth for us. You know why? Someone once mentioned that you are only, if you are only rich if you have more money than your wife can spend. So when we are talking about wealth now, it's only a lady that can. Yeah, please, I need a lady to define wealth for us. Wealth, wealth, wealth. Please, madam, please help us out, please. Money, she has said it. Wealth is actually a measure of riches. But in our environment, when you hear wealth, that's what you think about. You're thinking about how many trillions of naira, how many houses in Dubai. You understand? At the lecture, I said millions. And someone said, please, you are insulting us. We're not talking about millions again in this country. How many houses in Dubai? How many houses in London and all that we hear these days? Okay? What does that mean? We are measuring wealth on earthly terms only, in terms of material well-being. Simply, what that means is that a person who is wealthy, all right, in knowledge, professors and all that, are very poor unless they can translate that into, Abi? That means that a wise person, someone who is very wise, is considered a very foolish man unless he can wisely translate his wisdom into. So let us look at that advert, that definition. Why then do we say your health is your wealth? Because those definitions don't tally into your health being your wealth. So why do we say that? That your health is your wealth. We have defined both of them, and they're totally incongruous. So, why is your health your wealth? Someone help me. Somebody help me, please. Somebody help me. Help me, help me. Yes. Going? Yes, sir. Why is your health your wealth? If you have no health. Good. So let us put it simply. Let us look at the next slide. It says, when health is absent, wisdom cannot reveal itself. Art cannot become manifest. Nothing in life is beautiful. When health is absent, nothing in life is beautiful. Strength cannot fight. Wealth becomes useless. I have seen wealthy people, very, very wealthy people, very powerful people. At the tail end, they will say, God, take all the money, take all the fame, take all the power, and just give me my health back. It usually doesn't work. Because what we usually do is that in our early days, we sacrifice our health at the altar of money. And when we now lose the health, we want now to God take all the money and give us our health back. But usually it doesn't work. And of course, intelligence cannot be applied. Intelligence cannot be applied. Okay? And that was said by Herophilus in 300 before Christ. What does that mean? As it was in the beginning, so it is now, and so shall it be. It's unchanging. Okay? So let's move on. So your health, whose business? I actually put this because we were doing a job for an oil company all over the country. That oil company was spending a lot of money every year doing healthy living campaign every year. And at the end of the day, the company says, okay, we do medicals, they will invite the spouses, get prizes for the spouses. We started a no-lift day and all that. The staff will still expect the company to do more. The question is your health. Whose business is it? Whose business? Have you seen someone die before? And another person says, oh, that's my darling, that's my husband or my darling wife. or my dad, or please open the casket, I want to sleep with him. Does it happen? Doesn't. You have stroke, people around you will say, Daddy, oh, sorry, Daddy, sorry, we'll get you a nurse, make sure doctor sees you at home, we'll get you, make life comfortable. Everybody goes about his life. Everybody goes about his life. They give you all the support. But he who wears the shoes knows where it pinches. So you should be the captain of your own ship health-wise. You should be the MD. If you saw your doctor, your doctor is just another resource for you to tap into. You should not have monopoly of your health. You should be the one, the real captain of your health. Okay? So that's why we say your health is your primary what? Your primary business. Your health is your primary business. Don't forget, when health fails, everything else is failed. Okay, so what are those things? What are those things that separate us from good health in our environment? What are the things that separate us? I'm sorry. What are those things that separate us from good health in our environment? Constraints to good health. Persistent and worsening cycle of poverty and ignorance. It is consistent. I gave a lecture in 2003 to some managers of Dunlop and DMA in Ikeja. That morning I had bought Punch, and Federal Office of Statistics had a data there that 64% of Nigerians were living below poverty line. 2003. So, glibly, I quoted it. And I was giving the lecture to some young managers then. By the year 2016, it was generally acknowledged that 70% of Nigerians were living below poverty level. That's a difference of what? 7%. 6%, 64 to 70. 6%, Abi? 6%. So that means it is consistent and it is worsening. But how bad was it? What was our population in 2003? What was our population in 2016? That will tell you how bad it is. So, and when you have that, so much poverty and so much ignorance, what happens? You have myths, superstitions, misinformation, and essentially, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of preventable diseases, suffering, and death that are largely preventable. So I'll put it to you that most of the things that plague us, diseases and deaths that we have, majority of them are actually preventable. And that's where you know ye the truth, and what? Let the truth try and set you free. Yep. Poor public health practices. Lagos stands out in terms of healthcare. It is massive. It is massive. When I gave a lecture, for those people who know Lagos, I gave a lecture in Western House. That's just opposite General Hospital, Lagos. And I told them, that hospital there across the road has more consultants than you have in most states, individual states. That hospital alone. Not about the gynecology hospital there, that was there. Not about Mercy Street Pediatric, all right? But even then, it is still subnormal. As massive as it seems to be, it is still subnormal. So we have our poor public health practices, poor infrastructure. It's been documented, ladies and gentlemen, that the amount of money we spend every year to treat waterborne diseases diseases that are attached to water, to poor water, non-potable water, every year is more than what we need to provide pipe-borne potable water and virtually eliminate those diseases. But in our wisdom, we continue treating the diseases, and our population continues to get bigger, and then the current expenditure gets bigger too. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. The Nigerian dissociation syndrome. That's my own. I manufacture that English, so I'm a manufacturer too. The Nigerian dissociation syndrome. What does that mean? It means to every Nigerian, bad things can only happen to other people. Is that not true? To us, bad things can only happen to other people. After all, I was created by God. Abi? Sir, ma, please tell me someone you know was created by the devil. After all, I prayed this morning before I left home. It's not everybody who prays this. Tell me someone you know who will curse himself before leaving home for work. But the reality of the matter is that it's not everybody who left home today that will get back home in the evening. It's not. That's the reality. It's not everybody who slept yesterday that didn't wake up, that woke up this morning. They didn't pray to die. So the reality is the reality that bad things can. Why Oyibo man is better than us is that they are more factual. They know if I took this risk, anything that happens to that person who takes this risk can happen to me. But we, even when they tell people, during the word of HIV, when we were preaching all over Nigeria, and you tell these guys, but boy, I say, nah, lie, it cannot happen to me. It's not my portion. I took some HIV patients to Port Harcourt all over the country, and the lady gave her testimony. And this guy said, you mean, doctor, you mean this fine girl get HIV? Now lie, Joe, I go wire, nothing will happen. That is living. Why? Because our emotion, what we believe, is stronger than what we know. Our belief, our heart, is stronger than our brain. So our knowledge is subsumed by our belief. And that's why even when we know the truth, it usually doesn't set us free. I think virtually all of us are guilty of that to some extent. More so in some people than others. All right? All right. So lifestyle. Lifestyle is the way we live every day, the things we do, what we eat. It's an embodiment of our lives. When do you sleep? When do you wake up? What do you eat? Do you exercise? What products do you use? How do you relate to people? You know, those are the things that our day-to-day life. How do we live? Those are the things that constitute our lifestyle. And they have a major, major, major role to play in what happens to us. All right? Stress. Stress is a global phenomenon. We share a lot of world stress. In addition, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of homegrown stress. We're actually very stressful people, very stressed people. But somehow, we have developed resilience. So they push a Nigerian to the wall. Instead of turning around like a snake will do to fight back, he wants to move the wall backwards. That's what we try to do. Instead of even going around, you know, when you chase a snake will run away from man, naturally. Or you push it to the wall, the snake comes back and says, okay, so let's spar. Okay? But when you push a Nigerian to the wall, he still wants to push the wall back. That's how we live. Okay? Proactive and versus reactive health. proactive. Whether you went to nursery school or you went to primary school or you went to whatever, we learned it from the beginning. Okay. Okay, so, I'll be given some amber. Yellow, amber. What's the difference? Okay, let's go. Proactive, we learned it in school. Prevention is what? Better than. In so many words, is teaching time? Good, we're saying the same thing. Prevention is always safer than cure. So that's proactive health is generally safer than reactive health. Wellness and health. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us wear the toga of wellness and we call it health. Wellness simply means my head is not aching, I'm not vomiting, I'm not stooling. What our former president, Obasanjo, would say, I did can't pay. But the person who has hypertension who does not know, would you say that person is healthy? It's not. All right? Person who has cancer that is growing, a lot of people have cancer. By the time we know it's already spread, will you say that person is healthy? Good. But the person is wearing the toga of, yes, I'm healthy because I am well. We should we should draw a line between wellness and health. Wellness, real health can be only ascertained when you do your medical checkup that tells you, fine, this is your status, this is what you have to do. But the fact that you're not feeling anything at all does not mean you are healthy. It means you're well. Okay, so let's move quickly. I don't think I have time for this. So this is, look at us. I'm coming. Okay, look at it. This is a car. A lot of us, most of us, will not want this to happen to us, to our car. We do everything. We learn to service our cars, Abi. Even when the thing is overdue, we start to feel guilty. Spend hundreds of naira and all that, thousands of naira on your car. But your car is just an electromechanical gadget that is absolutely inferior to your person. So you learn to spend money so that your car will not get to a level like this, where it will be towed, where it will break down. You don't want it to break down. But your own body that is far, far more sophisticated, your own being. A lot of people will go to the doctor and they say 10,000 naira professional fee, comprehensive medical, 150. This doctor is a rogue. But if your car broke down and it's 250, it won't take much time for you to look for the money. That's how we live. So in other words, we have more price to our cars than to ourselves. And so basically what we are still talking about is preventive health is cheaper, more sensible, usually less or no suffering, no hospitalization. Is a win-win situation and self-propagating various options. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take care of ourselves so that we do not fall sick. We do not have diseases. As we grow older, there are chances that diseases will catch us increases substantially. Second half of life is definitely more difficult health-wise. But if we know what is contributing, know what to look out for, and we take care of our health, we are going to live to ripe old age. And that is what in our hands. So let's move quickly. But if we didn't do that, and it becomes reactive health, it is more expensive, less sensible, unnecessary suffering and death. And it's a lose-lose situation. Absolutely individualistic, and you have options that are limited. You have limited options. When it comes to today, saying, well, hypertension or stroke has come, your options are limited. You are going to spend so much money, and your options are still limited. Okay. Okay, so let's move quickly forward. Let's leave all this one. Man, why we have more widows than widowers? I think this will be available to you. So let's look at this. This is the main slide of the day. What are those things that determine your health? What are those things that will impact on how long and how well you are going to live? This is a thing. This is the main thing I came from Lagos for. One, genetics. Genetics. We are all products of our forebears. We have inherited from our forebears. For example, when I give lecture in my family, our father's memorial and all that, I'll tell them I was my grandfather's only son that he saw. I was the only child that my grandfather saw before he had glaucoma and got blind. So he didn't see my other siblings. Okay? My aunt got blind when she was less than 40. My uncle, who just died in December, had glaucoma too. So basically, glaucoma runs in our family. What are those things that run in your own family that you or your siblings can inherit? There are too many things that run down family line. Hypertension, diabetes mellitus, I just mentioned glaucoma, right? Cancer. Most cancers have some genetic disposition. All right? So what are those things that we suffer from? What are those things our father, our grandfather, our mother, and all that, even uncles had, that we can inherit from them? That's number one. I just gave the example of our own with glaucoma now. Age. We can divide life into two, first half, second half, with 40 years. From 40 years, second half starts. The diseases we usually have on the first half are different substantially from those of the second half. The diseases of the first half are kind. They communicate with us. They give us symptoms. When you have symptoms, your body is telling you something is wrong. And if you started feeling symptoms of malaria now, you start to have chills, you say, please give me paracetamol, put up the fan, and all that. Your body is telling you something is wrong. Abi? And you do something about it. But the diseases of the second half of life are not that friendly. They don't communicate. They enter the body like a thief in the night and start to do damage to various organs of the body. Damage. That's the difference between wellness and health that we discovered. So, you need to know what are those diseases. By the time you feel something is wrong with those diseases, it is not the disease itself, it's complications. You only need hypertension. You can have hypertension for many years and you don't know. You can have hypertension for 10 years and you don't know unless you do a check. You don't have people. We have seen people now with cancer. By the time you see the cancer and diagnose, it is too late. But those are things. When I hear someone has cancer of the cervix, for example, I feel like crying, because from the time it starts to the time it becomes real cancer, at least about 3 to 5 years. Do a test of 10,000 naira, and that person will never have cancer of that cervix. 10,000 or less, and the person will never have it. All right? So the diseases of the second half are ungratifying. So it is good for you to know that when you are getting old, these are the things that I'm likely to have. You are a man of 50 years. Your prostate is likely enlarged. You're a man of black man, 50 years. No matter how, your prostate is likely to be enlarged. And you're a good candidate for cancer of the prostate. Whether you like or you like, whether you go to church or you go to mosque, you are going to have enlarged prostate that can become cancerous. So age is very important. What are those things that happen as we grow older? Degenerative changes, all right? I've been given yellow cards, so I cannot express myself that much. Anyway, degenerative changes, you know, when you buy a brand new car, you are going to Sokoto, you are not thinking about it, you just get inside, boo. After some time, you hear, something is happening, the car is getting old, all right? So that's what happens generally. Look at us, many of us are wearing glasses here. Degenerative changes of the eye start, and by the age of 40, virtually everybody, you see, you are reading like this. After you do like this, you do like this, you do like this. When your arm is not long enough, you get glasses. Abi? Those are degenerative changes, and they apply to different persons in different ways. Okay? And experiences and exposures. Experiences and exposures. I'm sure some of us will remember that song. Tonight is the night. Betty right, Abi? When we were young in the first half of life, and we were cowboys and girl guides, we did things, Abi? We did things. What thou planted, thou shalt reapest. Those things that we did when we were in the first half of life, some of them will bounce back on us in our older age. That's what we call experiences and exposures. Socioeconomic factors come to play a part when you are growing old. Do you have access to health care? Do you have enough finances? Are you enjoying mental health? You understand? Are you educated? Can you put things in perspective and all that? They come to play when you are getting old. Okay, pre-existing health condition. If you are managing hypertension from the age of 40 or 35, it's different for someone who develops hypertension at the age of 50 or 55. So whatever you carry from younger age to the older age, you know you have to pay a lot more attention. And lifestyle, we have mentioned lifestyle. We're still going to look at lifestyle briefly. And mental health and stress. Mental health and stress. Let's just tidy up. Stress. Those are the things that can give us stress at this age, when you are getting older. All right? Time, money, relationships, health, responsibilities, unchanging demands. Unchanging demands. People who are getting from you, who are leeching on you all the while. Even when you retire, they don't want to retire from what they're doing. Conflicts at home, wrong investments. Wrong investments. When you put your pension money into something you don't know anything about, what do they say? A fool and his money are soon parted. So let's go quickly. Lifestyle. This is how we evolved. This is our evolution. We were meant to walk, be on our feet, and move. That's how we were meant to be. But what do we do now? How do we live? This is how we live now. This guy will spend the number of hours at work. That's what he does at work. And when he gets home, he watches television, sits down and watches television. And when he even gets to bed, look at it. There's no relationship there anymore. And look at this. Is this more than, are they in tune? They're in different worlds. Mobile phone is addictive, and most of us are actually addicted to it. 80% of people in Lagos, look at the Lagos traffic. 80% of people are actually using their phones at traffic lights, anywhere. 80% of people are. This is how we are living, and this is how we are meant to live. We are meant to be active. So this sedentary lifestyle is responsible, contributes substantially to 25% of global diseases and deaths. Sedentary lifestyle, lack of exercise, contributes substantially, all right? And when you're retiring, those are the factors. No more free health care, dynamics of health, less favorable. That's what I've been talking about as we grow older, all right? Important to plan for sustainable good health. Do health SWOT analysis. That's what we call health risk assessment. Educate your mind, embrace the health insurance option. What is SWOT analysis? This is what we are talking about, SWOT analysis, gentlemen. This is where you do your SWOT analysis. This slide is where you do your health risk assessment. Genetics. What are those things I could have inherited? Age, how old I am. All right? The moment I hit middle age, I know my prostate, I'm a man, I know my prostate can enlarge, and it's likely to enlarge. You understand? So if I had a parent, there was this young man, very brilliant engineer, who was a couple of years my junior in school, very brilliant, and he used to play good football. His father had cancer of the prostate. He took his father to the hospital, and they said, please come and do your own screening. I said, Mike, how old am I? About 2 years later, he discovered he had cancer of the prostate, and he died from it. The father was still alive when he died, unfortunately. Okay? So this is the slide you want to do to your SWOT analysis. This is the most important slide that we can talk about today. All right? And then as we grow older, we must embrace the health insurance option. I am sure we now know about NHIA. Who knows about NHIA here? Have you told them about NHIA? Please. With the NHIA Act that was signed on 19th of May last year by the President, it now becomes compulsory for everybody to be covered by health insurance. Everybody, everybody who is living in Nigeria must have health insurance. It's been running in Ghana for 24 years, and it has covered almost all their citizens. 24 years now. And it's covered almost there. And that is what is keeping Oyibo people, all right, healthy. That is why they are taking our own doctors to come and look after their people. Health insurance is very important. You put small money together so that when you need health care, you can access it without looking for money in your pocket. Cheap. For the NHIA now, when you pay 15,000 naira, you have benefits of almost 250,000 naira in the year, including your child delivering, including CS and all that. You understand? So please let us embrace the health insurance option. So let's, some age-related diseases, high cholesterol. Where's the cholesterol coming from? Cholesterol from, good. Your body, your liver manufactures a little cholesterol. But the cholesterol we are talking about that is killing, number one killer in some Oyibo land, and it's gotten to us now. Where is it coming from? What we put in our mouth. Remember when you were a baby, Yoruba people, I don't know about other people. When you were a baby, your mother will put you across the lamp like this, Abi. Pinch your nose. Put the thing here. Whether you like or you like, Abi, you must take. But now you are adult. You are using your own hand to poison yourself. All those very fried things, all those very sweet things that we love so much are harmful to our health. Orenu ota ara. What did I say? Orenu what? What is very sweet in your mouth is often an enemy of your body. The sweeter it is in your mouth, the more difficult it is for your body. The more difficult it is for your body. Thank you. Heart diseases and hypertension. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you this. My time is up. They are waiting to... One of the things, hypertension is a black man's disease. Hypertension is what? A black man's disease. Oyinbo man getting own, all right? That is giving him stress. But us here, hypertension is our disease. Black man. That's number one. But we are the ones who are even causing it more. We take too much salt. Yuck. Salt. We take too. One of the reasons about our hypertension, what has escalated is substantially salt. all these fried foods that we like to take, a lot of meat that we like to take, all those things are the one adding to the hypertension that we have. All right. So please, we have to reduce our salt intake. Okay, I've mentioned about prostate. I've mentioned about prostate. Black man, your prostate will enlarge. Black man, a chance of having cancer of the prostate is high. So one of the things you must do from the age of 40 is check your prostate. Check your cholesterol. Check your cholesterol, your lipid profile. You understand? Actually, from the age of 40, you should be doing your medical check regularly. Okay? Cancers. I think we mentioned cancer. Cancer can be, there are only 3 places in your body. There are only 3 places you cannot have cancer. 3. Where? Those are the only 3 places in the whole body that cannot have cancer. And cancer is increasing by the day, is increasing by the year, globally. But what is happening is that the Igbo man is trying to tap his own to settle it, and those things that they are living, because those are the things that are killing them, causing cardiovascular disease and all that, we are embracing. We want to be Oyibo, Abi. We want to be Oyibo in our, we want to urbanized. So those things that are harming them, that they are living, we are embracing. So we are having their diseases and dying their deaths. Okay, diabetes mellitus, we know about that. Where does it come from? What is causing diabetes? Briefly, I'm ending now. I'm rounding up. Food, carbohydrate, inheritance, too much sugar. Diabetes is not a disease of sugar intake. It is a disease of hormonal problem. All right? What happens is that when we usually, you know, when you eat a bar like this, when we sit down, they eat a bar. You see like that, as if a bar is going out of fashion, we are not going to have the next meal. We usually eat more than what we need. The raw material for us to be alive is sugar. The raw material for us to be alive is sugar, and it's in everything we eat, including beans. But we usually eat more than we need. So the excess, there is a hormone that controls how much sugar is in our blood. It's then when that hormone, insulin, is abnormal, it's too low or non-existent, that is when we develop diabetes. Okay? But if you had the tendency, like she said, ma'am, if you had the tendency, you have family history, and you are now taking, you are the one taking coke, you are the one taking sugar, diabetes will come sooner than later. And when it comes, it will come with a vengeance. All right? So, overweight or obesity? Overweight or obesity? Some people, when they stand on this hospital scale, the scale will say 1 at a time, please. 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 The scale thinks there are 3 people standing on it. We need to watch our weight. All these things add up to our health as we get older. Look, no matter what, the worst that can happen if your body is heavy, don't forget to start with that the weight of your body is borne to the ground through your knees and your ankles. The more they wear, what do they call that? Arthritis, hypertension, diabetes, stroke, all of them are there together. Now, yeah, I'm finished, yeah. Okay. So, rounding up now.
Thank you.
We're rounding up now. I'm sure we remember this guy. Do you remember him? Mugabe. The wise man. Hello. Let's round up, please. Mugabe said, if you are a married man, and you find yourself attracted to schoolgirls, just buy your wife a school uniform. Just buy your wife a school uniform. So do your health SWOT analysis. We have mentioned that. Be proactive about your health. Do comprehensive health check every year. It is the difference between health and wellness. It's your health check that will tell you what your real state of health is, not what you think it is because you are not having any complaints. So, ladies and gentlemen, health may not be everything. Health may not be everything. But everything becomes nothing without health. All right? So, last line. Why are you stealing the church clock? And the man who sold the church clock replied, because God's time is the best. Now, it's now time for me to leave here. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Adelaku, for that presentation. And even though we had to rush through the slides, I think we all got the message. But then again, I would say that if there's anybody in the audience who wants this presentation, you can drop your email and we can make that available for you. Without further ado, please, I'd like to invite the next session that will be handled, the question and answer session, that will be handled by the Director, Customs, Immigration and Prisons Pensions Department, Mr. Abubakar Abdallah.
Minutes, okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Are we all happy? Are we happy? Can we all stand up for 1 second? If you are happy and you know you are happy, clap your hands. If you are really happy and you know you are happy, please say amen. Okay, we have some little exercises, but we don't want to go there because of want of time. So we will have to go straight to the point. Please, can we all sit down, please? Yes, ma. I'll want to stand on the existing protocols and proceed right away straight. The first I have here is a goodwill message from one of our own. Kudos to our outgoing president for his word yet to be rivaled care of pensioners. That's President Muhammadu Buhari. Kudos to the current Ptad staff under the able leadership of Dr. Chioma Ejikeme for the effort so far. God's blessing on you all. Be more intense in the supervision on the Ptad staff. Some pensioners complain of mails which are still on your table, ma. Okay. To start with, the Executive Secretary wants to address 2 or 3 issues. We have questions that we merge, which are about 7 or 8. They have to do with NHIS, harmonization, diaspora verification, pension increment, and state office in AKURE. AKURE. So the AES will want to explain into a little, details on NHIS, like the last speaker talked about. It's one of the things AES want to talk about. Please permit me to.
Rest is sweet. Rest is sweet. Like the director CP asked, are you all happy? Are you sure you're all happy? Southwest. Mo sọ pé, are you happy? I've made you happy. We've made you happy. Thank you so very much. Once again. You want what? You want to be happier. That's what we're here for. Let me have that piece of paper. Let me have the piece of paper so I remember everything. That's what we are here for. Ptad is committed to the welfare of the Nigerian DBS pensioner. And we're not going back on that. The first is to do with health insurance. If you all remember, my very first encounter with the DBS pensioners when I was appointed, I said, if it is the last thing that I do before I leave, you can't hear? Can you hear me now? Okay. I said, if it is the last thing I do before I leave this office, I would want the Nigerian DBS pensioner to get health insurance. As God would have it, the National Health Insurance Agency that was set, put the act that came on last year, has made it mandatory that every Nigerian should have health insurance. But to take it a step further, because we've been working on this thing for a long time, concerning how we can get health insurance for you. We have met with the National Health Insurance Authority, and they have given us a firm promise that very soon you all will be enjoying health insurance. Free health insurance. My colleague in secondary school who gave a health talk, I guess he's used to talking to people in the oil company and all of that, highfalutin stuff. These are pensioners. These are retirees. Some of them, their money can't even take them home. They can't afford to pay for health insurance themselves. So we have gone far. A committee has been set up to work out the modalities, and very soon you're going to get a good result. The second is about harmonization. We've been talking about this harmonization, no? We've been talking about harmonization for a long time, oh? And like I told you people right from the very beginning, I understand it very well. I am a Ptad pensioner. And I keep telling people that in 1982-83, when I was a house officer, as a doctor, my salary was 380 naira. And that's a level 8, because we're employed as house officers on level 8. And that was a doctor's salary structure, which obviously was bigger than that of the ordinary civil servant. Now, in that same 1982-83, some people retired. And the salary structure they retired on, worst case scenario, they weren't even getting up to, their basic salary wasn't up to 12,000 naira in the year. And that is what the pension will be calculated based on. And I keep saying, even if you get 1,000,000% increments, it will make a difference. Because as the years go by, inflation sets in, salary structures change, people are now earning a lot more, minimum wage will be increased, people have to, because of the inflationary trends in the country. So if you retired in 1983, your pension might be maybe 300 naira or 400 naira, and yet you retired on a level 8. And then if you retired in 2007, by then, all the minimum wage increments and all of that, by the time you were retired, maybe your salary was 100,000. your pension would probably be 20,000, then something, in that neighborhood. And you spent the same number of years as the man who retired in 1983. And you retired on the same grade level and the same step. What did you do wrong? That you retired at the wrong time. So, the harmonization we are working on is to bring everybody on the same level. And that same level is that if you retired on level 14, step 9, and you spent 35 years in service, if Mr. Aki retired on level 15, step 9, and spent 35 years in service, and Mr. Abiodun, where is Mr. Abiodun, by the way? Has he gone? No, you're not the one that is my friend. He's gone. What is driving him? The lies he keeps telling. You push to warn him. So if you retired on level 15, step 9, 35 years, you should be saying, my friend, share is 35,000 we collected. You should be collecting the same amount. So that's what we're working on. And we have gone far with that. As a matter of fact, it is now with the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission. They are working on it. And hopefully we get approval. And as soon as we get approval, we will implement. But let me say something here. If you retired in 2007, that means that you people are the cash cows. You understand what I mean? If you retired in 2007, you are the one earning the pension that the people who retired before you want to earn, which means you're not getting any. There will be no change in your money. Because that is the last salary structure of the defined benefit scheme. If you retired with the salary structure that was operational as at the 30th of June 2007, your pension is going to be the same. But if you had retired before on a different salary structure, that is different from the operational salary structure in 2007, you will be brought to that 2007 salary structure. So that's what this harmonization that we have worked on is all about. So what I would say is, all of you should go and pray. We've done our own bit. The rest is for the higher authorities. As soon as they give us approval, you get your money. Second thing, go see arrears. That's the second thing. Go see arrears. Shebo misas. Go see arrears. So you will just start enjoying it. So it's not now. They'll start saying, what about arrears from 1901? There will be no arrears. You're asking about diaspora verification. We're still working on diaspora verification. It's a very difficult issue for us, and we keep asking the pension unions because we have tried. We have gone to the Nigerian Diaspora Commission. We've gone to the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs. We have put up a link on our website asking people who are diaspora pensioners to register, fill out a form for us, so that we will know who they are and where they are. On our database, we have about 5,000 pensioners who are supposed to be diaspora pensioners. Now, we have put up this link on our website for them to go and fill out a form for us to know who they are and where they are. You know, diaspora verification, we can't just go abroad and say, hey, where are you, diaspora? Come on. We have to know where they are, their distribution, which countries are they in, for us to be able to plan. We can't just walk into, who are you looking for? So the problem we are having is that they are not giving us the information that we're looking for. I don't think we have up to, do we have up to 200 people now? Not up to 200 of them have filled out the survey that we put on our website. The next thing that is going to happen is what? We will remove them from the payroll. Then they will come by force. Because a lot of these diaspora pensioners, they have not gone through our verification exercise that all of you went through. We don't have their career documents. We don't even know whether they are genuine, eligible, bona fide pensioners, which we have done for all of you here. All of you here, you have presented your career documents. We looked at all of them. We validated them. We put you on your rightful monthly pension, and you are receiving your monthly pension on a monthly basis, as and when due. But these people, a lot of them have not gone through our verification exercise, and it is against our policy for them to be on our payroll. And because they have not done that, it's also a problem for us for our life. Because you know, for you to qualify to tell us that you are alive, we must have your biometric data. That means we have verified you. So, I'm appealing to the pension union executives who are here. If you know your members who reside outside Nigeria and they have not been verified, because some of them have been verified, they come back and they get themselves verified. So if you know that there are some of them that reside outside Nigeria and they have not been verified, please appeal to them. Because you know, the pension union people, when we remove them now, they'll start fighting us. But we have given enough information. We have created enough awareness. So we expect that they should please help us to help them. So that is the situation with diaspora verification right now. We can't even plan because we don't have the data to plan with, to know how we're going to go about verifying them. Pension increments. I think Mr. Shelleng has said a little bit about that. So I don't think there's anything more to say. But then, the retired permanent secretary, Barrister Sonia Oswabo said, there's this rumor, because you know government deals with pieces of paper. If the newspaper say that government has given 40% increment to workers, until we see the circular, it doesn't exist. So, but having said that, he has advised us, and we have taken the advice, to work on that rumor. So what we're going to do is to go to National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission and tell them, we heard this rumor that 40% is coming to, and you know what the Constitution says. It's either every 5 years or any time that there's an increment in the salaries of serving civil servants. So we'll hear what they have to say, because we had already proactively last year decided to write them concerning the increment that is due in 2024, because the problem with implementing pension increments most of the time is not providing for it in the budget. So we wanted them to arm us with the increment for next year, so that this year, because the budget for next year will be prepared this year, and it will be passed this year, so that we will be able to make provision for that increment in the 2024 budget, which will be prepared in 2023. So that the minute they give us approval, we do like we did the last time. So that's what we're praying for, and I think we have to immediately go back, go see them at the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, and know how we can go about that. AKURE Straight Office. Jagaban, I greet you. I'm sure you are the one who wrote this one. You know, the act that established Ptad actually mandated that we should have a state office in every state capital out of all the 36 states of the Federation. But you all know how these things work. Apart from, because in all honesty, we don't pay for the state offices that we have. We leverage on whatever the state government has. All our state offices are allocated to us by the state government where we cite that particular office. So in terms of the accommodation, it's usually not a problem. But the problem we have is that of renovating the office, equipping the office, and staffing the office. So that, okay, oh, your NUP Southwest, your governor, is he paying pensions? Are you sure? The governor of Oyo State or Ekiti or, no, I don't know, I'm just asking a question because I know that the state governments are giving us a bad name. You know, when people are talking about pensions and they are showing state pensioners who are not being.
What I try to do is to compress questions together such that, thank you very much, ES. Director Neka, how comes these fraudsters know our full names, date of enlistment? If you are already enjoying your pension and died, how do you inform Ptad? I mean, how do you get access? I mean, how do you get that notification across to Ptad? Can you just answer this before we? Yes, Director Neka. Fraudsters. Yeah, remove us and then.
Okay, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, it's afternoon, it's true. Good afternoon to our dear pensioners. Okay, are you with me? Let me see if I can answer some of these questions very quickly. So the first one was about the diaspora pensioners for reinstatement. So let me just clarify. If you are a diaspora pensioner and you are on the inherited payroll, that is the payroll that Ptad gave to us in 2015, and you were dropped because of non-verification, if you submit your career documents and I'm alive certificate from the embassy where you live, we will reinstate you pending when you can do your verification. But if you are never on the payroll, you must come for verification. And that's why ES was saying all those diaspora pensioners who know that they are eligible for pension, we don't know who you are. So you have to go to our website and fill the registration form that we have kept there. Right now, we're doing registration for only USA and Canada. So if you know any diaspora living in the USA or living in Canada, they should go and fill out that registration form so that we can know who you are. So then those ones that have submitted their documents and submitted their I am alive from the embassy, it's ongoing. Their documents are sent to the pension department and over time they'll be reinstated. I'm not sure if they will get arrears, but they will be reinstated for pension. So that's for diaspora. Then for, okay, you said something, okay, pensioners that are doing I'm alive, that don't have their verification slip. You can go to any of the state office and ask for verification slip. They can print it for you if you have lost your verification slip, or you can write to the executive secretary and request for a new verification slip. We will respond and send it to you. Make sure you give us an address that we can send it to. But that is not a problem. Anytime you ask, any place you go to, we'll be able to give you your verification slip. So that's not an issue. For the deceased pensioners, next of kin, one of the challenges we have is that next of kin don't always report when their loved one has passed away. they'll be going to the bank to collect the money. And it's only when they now have a problem in the bank, they post the death notification, and then we can sort everything out and settle that account. Okay, yes, we do realize that a lot of the time pensioners receive phone calls from fraudsters, and the fraudsters seem to have a lot of information about them. I don't think we in Ptad can really tell you where you're getting that information. What we suspect is that many times those records are old records from the old pension offices before Ptad came into existence. And then we also maybe sometimes the lawyers also have information that is available. So we can't really tell you where that information came from. But I believe that many times that information comes from the old records in the old pension offices that the fraudsters have gotten access.
In addition to that, much as we are not saying you should not liaise with your legal friends and all that, it's easier to talk to us direct rather than involving a third party. You never can tell. Your money goes, your time and all that. So it's easy. Our lines are open. She also talk about tellers of complaint. How you can tell your complaints easily. She also talk about that in the next few seconds. Please.
Which one? Okay, yes. During my presentation yesterday, I said there are different ways in which you can send your complaints to Ptad. So number one is to go to any of our state offices. In the southwest, it will be Ibadan and Lagos, and there will always be any of our staff. You can make a complaint, fill the complaint form, we'll get all your information and we'll work on it. You can write directly to the executive secretary. She reads every letter and we answer every letter. The only way you will not get a letter is if you do not give us an address that we can deliver your letter to, but we answer every letter. You can call us on our call center, 09-462-1700.
No. Please take it one step by step. Please listen to the numbers.
Our call center line is 09-462-1700. Everything is on your...
Please.
It's on your paper here.
Okay, as simple as ABC.
It's over there. It's on the folder. Okay. So you can call the call center line. We have call center agents that are answering. You can send an email. We also answer all the emails that we receive. And then those of you that are using Twitter or Facebook, many times also, you can also go there, write your complaint. We'll respond to you and let you know how to reach us so that we can resolve your complaint.
Very good. What?
Okay, I saw that question. So I want you all to remember, and he had talked about this. Before now, we did a pilot of I Am Alive.
Yes.
That was last year. That was the period of testing the I Am Alive solution, make sure that it works very well. As at April 14, we now officially launched I Am Alive. That means everybody must do it again. So if you are police, your own date is 14th of April to 13th of October. Whether you have done it before or not, you must do it now. This is the one that is going to count. Those ones, that testing one, it didn't count. This is the one that is going to count. And then that of customs and immigration from the 1st of June till 31st of December. You can see all the dates there. Then civil service pension, your own will start 1st of July till 31st of January. And then finally, parastatus. So starting from 14th of April, every pensioner under the defined benefit scheme must do their I Am Alive based on the scheduled dates. Are you with me?
Thank you, Madam Director. Okay, thank you. I have other sets of questions. Concerning the next of kin who have documented their deceased parents requiring assistance, but were denied the bank statements, what do we do? What can we do to help them across? Yeah, MTEL NITEL. There are four questions on MTEL NITEL, which Mr. Kabiru will address. NITEL MTEL. They're talking about check of dues also. That you don't give them check of dues? Okay, several of them. Okay. And then you take this along to Kabiru. Why do you have delays in resolution of complaints as it to do as arrears and gratuity?
I have 7 questions from parastatal pensioners. The first one I have here is from NIPOST. It states, and I quote, pension arrears of 2011 August used grade level 6 instead of grade level 10 step 8, and difference have not been paid to date. Hello? Somebody complained from NIPOST that their pension arrears in August 2011 was paid using grade level 6 instead of grade level 10 step 8, and no difference has been paid to them till date. Now, let me explain. Yesterday we said that when we took over pension in August 2015, what we took over was simply your list of name, your account number, your bank name, and then the monthly pension. And that is what we have been paying since then for parastatal. We've been paying since then, with the exception of the consequential adjustment that was done in April 2019. Now, that's details that we got. We do not have any way of knowing whether they are correct or not. Whether there is stone inside rice or there is oil inside gari. Now, the only way to clear that unreliable record, the first level is verification. In order to know who is Ojo, who is Ajayi, and who is Aremu. Then we did that. We finished in November 2019. The second thing after that, like I said, is that anything that involves gathering data on the field, there is tendency for error. Now, to ensure that we minimize the impact of error, we want to validate the data we gathered from the field. And on the instruction of the ES, we've been doing that since late 2019. For those that we have finished their validation and we have computed, we have paid them their entitlement. That is from defunct agencies, NACO, Alscon, Savannah Sugar, Delta Steel Company, New Nigerian Newspapers, and all of that. We have now moved to treasury-funded parastatals. People like NIPOST, people like PSN, people like Nigeria Railway, and all of them like that. We started a project in November. The ES chased all of us out of the office. We went to a dedicated project center. Some of your pension union officials have been to that place. In that place, we are recomputing the monthly pension of 76,095 pensioners. Those that we inherited with their inherited monthly pension that we have not recomputed. There are 2 things that will come out as a result of this. One of it will be good news, and one of it you know. Now, for those whose pension has been wrongly computed, like this man here, we will be doing independent computation of pension by ourselves without relying on any of your old employers. Because we have your career record now, we have the salary structure, we have the pension table, we are recomputing using computer application. When we finish, each one of you will get a letter stating this is your details, like birth certificate. That will be the second document after your verification slip. And it will state what your new monthly pension would be and all of the increment that is applicable. And it will say it will start by this month. Now, the outcome of that will be that for those of you that have been shortchanged, you will get back to your correct pension. And areas that are related when we compute it, we will arrange of how we will pay. For those that have benefited from the mischievous and wrong implementation of DBS in the past, you will come down. The elders have a proverb. Thank you very much. For your pension that has gone up without any legal basis, it will come crashing down. And what you have chopped, that the Muslim call haram. I leave it at that. So that exercise will correct the kind of problem that Oga is talking about. One of the things we need to do that, when we get computer monthly pension, please start gathering your bank statement. We don't have ratio. We are not wish a wizard. There is no way we can know what you have been paid if you can't see it in the bank statement. So we rely on your bank statement and the records from your previous employers to get records of what you have collected to date. We compare it at what are you supposed to collect. The difference is your own. I told you yesterday, there is no miracle in pension. There is no magic. There is no babalawo or call there. It is very clear based on rules. We will compute it, show you the computation, you will have it. So that is the solution to issues like this. We are determined to finish that exercise this year by God's grace. And every one of you that is under Pastor will get your letter as soon as we conclude. Thank you. Then again, NIPOST, they said Ptad took over NIPOST pensioners in August 2015, but some people were omitted and since have not been restored. If you have any record of any NIPOST pensioner that has been verified and has not been enrolled, please let us have the details. With the verification slip, please note what the ES said. Any pensioner that has not been verified does not have any right to stay on the payroll except for diaspora pensioner, which is temporary. So if somebody in NIPOST, in NEPA, in Research Institute is claiming that he has not been put back on the payroll, ask for his verification slip. There is no, you can't hide anywhere now. If you cannot show your verification slip, tell him to go home. You cannot have any claim on Ptad without having a verification slip. So if you have the verification slip, send it to us, we'll work on it. Okay, 4. Chief T.O. Ajayi complained that in year 2000, mass retrenchment took place in Osun State. Until date, those qualified for federal share of gratuity have not been paid. Again, CSPD did verification in 2015 ahead of Ptad, and everybody that is qualified under CSPD have been paid. Everybody that has verified and is qualified. Unless your file has any query, let me repeat, every pensioner under CSPD that has been verified and is qualified, all of their entitlements have been paid. I make bold to state that. Unless your file has query. If you are verified, have not been paid, bring out your verification slip. Go to any of our state offices. Fill a complaint form. You cannot wink in the dark, nobody will see you. Don't come out and complain, supported with documents. That is the response to that. Okay, Mr. Michael Adebayo complain about 36 months arrears for MTL. Any assurance on payment? My response to this is what the ES has been saying all along. The dedication, the zeal, the commitment, and the passion that we put in all the areas for all the defunct agencies. when we started with paying 1 month of arrears to NITEL, to the point where we have reduced 84 months to 36 months, that dedication has not changed. The head is still air. The heart is still the same. And we are pushing it with every figure and the strength that we have. Do you know what we need from you? Your prayers. The only thing we need from you is your prayers. For God to ease that effort within us and that of the government. You all know that the demand is enormous. And you have all admitted here that this government has been the most pensioner-friendly government. That government has not changed. And to the best of my knowledge, I am not a part of the inner caucus, but we all know that the government is transiting to another government that is of the same party. So it is our belief that the DNA of that government will not change, given that it's the same party. But please, pray for us. We are dedicated and determined to ensure that the way we have paid off the liability of all the defunct agency pensioners, we do the same for NITEL. God helping us. What is the update on NITEL NOK payment? We have continued to process the file of NOK pensioners, NOK of NITEL, and have continued to pay those that we process. Now, if you have any complaint about a specific one, please let us have it.
Can we have one house, please, please, please? Shh. Okay, go ahead, sir.
If you have any complaint about a specific NOK, please let us have it. But for me to be general, I will say that a large number of the payment that we have made in NOK payment has been to defunct agencies. Because we have not even started dealing with NOK of regular pensioners, who are as much as about 2,000 to 2,500. So if you know about any specific NOK of the defunct agencies that has not been processed and has been verified, please let us have it, and then we can work on it. What is the cause of delay in implementing 1% COD for NITEL MTEL? You know that yesterday, when I was making my presentation, I said that everything about pension is guided by law. Law, circular, and policy. Everything. It is not subject to the nuances or interpretation of any personal individual. Whatever affects pension also affects anything that is deducted from pension. You may not know, the law states very clearly that the only thing that can be taken from the pension of a pensioner is check-off dues and alimony. That is when a divorce court grants a right to give some benefits to the spouse of the pensioner. That is the only two things. Nobody can take anything. And it also applies to the new pension scheme. In fact, we have instances where we have claim against some pensioners of the DBS who we found are on the CPS. When we write to PENCOM said that they can't touch the money of that. So the law is very strict on what you can do, what you can take out of somebody's pension. When it comes to union and their right to check off dues, there is also a law that guides that. It is that law that gives right to the registrar of trade union to recognize or not recognize trade union. It is when a trade union is recognized under the law that they have an automatic right to COD from their members. We all know about that. When this pressure and ruffle fight in respect of check-off dues started about 4 years ago within the PSCM group, there were several back and forth court cases. At a point, Ptad invited NLC to wade into it. we could not resolve it. In order to ensure that we do not have continuous cases of intra-union wranglings, we sought advisory from the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. And the Attorney General gave us clear directives on the implementation of trade union and their rights to COD. In addition to that, to get more clarity, we also sought, currently writing a letter to the Registrar of Trade Union. Because of that, we have suspended any action to apply COD on the pension of anybody. What is happening now is what has remained that we inherited. So all application by pensioner association for COD deduction, we have suspended until we get clarity from those two officers of government, and we can then set up a policy for implementation of COD. When that policy is implemented, everybody that is a union, whatever it is that is affects you, you will have to comply. It is those who comply after that that will have a right to COD. So, and I have explained this to officials of NITEL. I talked with Mr. Nakande yesterday. I've also explained it to officials of SRIWA. Ptad, if Ptad does not deduct your COD, the money does not go to our pocket. Ptad is not a member of any trade union. Ptad is not an executive of any of the pensioners union. Our only interest, welfare of pensioners, and to do what is right under the law. So exercise patience with us to get this matter resolved and put up a clear regulation.
Thank you, Director Kabiru. Thank you. Can you please put your hands together for him? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like I've said earlier, questions will not finish here. So in case you have issues, questions, Director Neka said, there are channels where you can also forward these complaints to. Please, any other person here, just any person who didn't write or who want to say, okay, Baba? Okay, from that side and then one from this side. Baba, go ahead.
Hello? Sir?
Yes, sir.
Good day, sir. We have paramilitary sector. May I know, we retired 2007, January. We forced us out from the service. Now, immunization, paramilitary structure, and other things like that, we are not paid. May I know whether we are going to receive this allowance or not?
Baba, can you come again? He said, where do you retire from, Baba? Where did you retire? Baba?
31st January. 2007. 2007. All the paramilitary sectors.
Retire.
31st January 2007.
Share verification.
Atiche.
Okay, state with federal share.
Retire.
Pieces. That is paramilitary.
Okay. Party share verification, Baba. Ibo lengbe.
Ọwọ́.
Ẹ láti wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa dé Ìbàdàn. Kẹ́ ẹ mú verification slip ẹ gbàgbọ́
gbogbo rẹ̀ wà lọ́wọ́.
Kẹ́ ẹ mú ani. Kẹ́ ẹ lọ bá wọn ní ọ́fíìsì wa ní Ìbàdàn. Kẹ́ ẹ fíìlì ìwé láti complain ní pé ẹ̀tọ́ yín láti gbà tẹ́ ẹ ti ṣe verification wọn ti san fún yín. Tá a bá ti gba méjèèjì yẹn fọ́ọ̀mù yẹn àti ìwé tẹ́ fi ṣe verification á ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ẹ̀. Sọ̀rọ̀ mi yé yín.
Mo ń gbọ́.
Tẹ́ ẹ bá wá ní ẹni tó lè bá yín send ẹ̀ sórí email ayélujára ẹ pè wọ́n kẹ́ ẹ fún wọn ní fọ́ọ̀mù méjèèjì yẹn fọ́ọ̀mù tẹ́ ti verification àti ìwé tẹ́ fi ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n á bá yín send ẹ̀ sí wọn kẹ́ ẹ fi mobile number yín sí o so that wọ́n bá fẹ́ béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín wọ́n á lè pè yín. Sọ̀rọ̀ mi yé yín.
Mo ń gbọ́.
Kẹ́ ẹ fi mobile number yín sí torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń tàn rí ni pé àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n ń complain wọn ò ní fi mobile number sí wọn ò ní fi address sí ẹ bá fẹ́ wá béèrè àpẹńtà máa pè
sọ̀rọ̀ mi yẹn mo ń gbọ́ ọlọ́run fún wa ṣe àmì. And then ìmọ̀ràn mi sí yín ni pé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fọlọ́run ló máa bẹ̀yìn ọmọ wa jẹ́ ẹ tún jẹ́ ìyá wa ẹ̀yin ní intermediate lẹ́yìn gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì àti àwa tó jókòó yìí a ò lè lọ sí Àbújá gbogbo ẹ̀yin ló jẹ́ gọ́vùnà fún wa báyìí ẹ má fìyà jẹ wá now 40% increment of salary tó tún bọ̀ yìí ẹjọ́ immediately tó bá ti tẹ̀ kẹ́ fún wa ẹjọ́.
What did he say?
Oṣù mẹ́wàá.
Baba said that those of us that are pensioners, yes, our mother, and you are our mother, and you are our own representation of Abuja, yes, because all of us cannot go to Abuja. Yes. That this news of 40% increment, that the moment you can confirm it, the benefit that is due to us, please, just as the way you did consequential, don't let us wait too long before we get benefit. God will help you as you help us.
Amen. Amen. I say a big amen to that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In case you have other questions, please, we have our you can meet them. So finally, can we all stand again? Can we all stand again, please? Okay. Please move your hands. Yeah. Your hands, move your hands. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. Take your body. 1, 2. Take your body. Take it. 1, 2. 1. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Abdallah, and thank you to the directors and the executive secretary, the responses to the questions. Thank you. Please sit down and give yourselves a round of applause. So remember that even though we are coming to an end of the program, it doesn't mean that the engagements stop here. There are different ways for us to continue to engage with you. Just make sure you have the right channels. And like the Director of Pensioner Support Services has mentioned, at the back of your program, you can find the different ways you can continue to engage with Ptad. Don't forget our website, www.ptad.gov.ng is very, very active. Every information as it concerns the directorate can be found on our website. And now, with the Executive Secretary's permission, can we go ahead and formally end today's program with a vote of thanks from the Deputy Director, Police Pensions Department, Mrs. Christina Adebote.
Good afternoon, daddies and mommies. I'm sure you're all happy that with what we presented to you. On behalf of the Executive Secretary and the management and staff of Ptad, we want to say a very big thank you for coming, for honoring our invitation. And please, we would like to ask you if you would please spread the news about the I Am Alive, especially to police pensioners that have started, so that those that were not able to attend will know of it and try their own. They should even try before the others start. If they can finish before the next department, it will be to their advantage. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll please ask you to remain on your seat after the national anthem. Our staff will come and attend to you. So once they attend to you, you can now go up and have your lunch. We wish you a safe journey back to your destinations, and we look forward to hearing from you, getting your feedbacks. It will help us in what we do. Thank you so much, and have a safe trip. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Adebote. And on that note, can we please all rise to our feet and take the second stanza of the national anthem to formally bring an end to today's program. We will please sing the national anthem after the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.